Hi all, welcome to the Polco Minute, where you hear the latest best practices and news in local government and civic engagement. I'm Angelica Waddell with this week's headlines. Our first article today tackles the difficult question of how local governments and organizations can increase neighborhood safety for Asian American groups. Sarah Holder and Linda Poon from Bloomberg City Lab have highlighted several focus areas surrounding this issue. Former President Trump and other high-profile politicians often referred to the COVID-19 virus as the China flu. The writers point out that negative sentiments carried with this term have combined with already tense racial relations in some communities. They say the result has been a rise of violence against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. There have been almost 4,000 acts of harassment and physical violence reported against these populations just since last March, and an overwhelming 68% of those attacks were targeted at women. According to the Voice of America, official hate crimes against Asian Americans grew by more than 150% in 2020. The recent shooting in Atlanta targeted 3 spas, and 6 of the 8 people killed were Asian women. And while a ruling has not yet been made on whether or not the shooting will be classified as a hate crime, communities are responding. Police chiefs in cities with large Asian populations have ramped up their law enforcement response. And members of counterterrorism units have also ordered to patrol Asian neighborhoods. But the residents in these communities and the organizations that work to protect them aren't all in agreement that more police hold the answer. Advocacy groups are calling for a greater investment in long-term solutions that address the root causes of the violence. Local organizations say they want more government support for victims. Residents also want more resources dedicated to community-based violence prevention programs. Some cities are even setting up volunteer organizations to help patrol Asian American neighborhoods. All of this serves to highlight what a pressing issue we face when it comes to ensuring the safety and well-being of all of our minority communities. It's essential that local governments and leaders engage with these communities and address their needs. Next today, we travel to Middleton, Wisconsin, where leaders have found new ways to connect with their residents. Mike Davis is the city administrator in Middleton, and he says it's important not to let the squeaky wheels dominate community conversations. He says that the role of local government leaders is to solicit discussion and engender the voices of all. And that is exactly what they've done since adopting Polco for community engagement in 2016. Middleton uses Polco to poll residents as well as to conduct scientific benchmark surveys. Polco has helped officials gather resident responses on everything from playground building to plans for the airport. And with the platform's verification abilities, Middleton officials can rest assured that the opinions collected are not from non-residents or businesses pushing their own products. Middleton decided to conduct the National Community Survey as well as the National Business Survey this past year. Both surveys use scientific sampling and national benchmarking that helps put community results into larger context. According to Davis, the surveys helped officials to engage a lot more with the public and with businesses than they ever had before. He also says that Middleton plans to use Polco Live to help them with their strategic planning processes in the future. Polco Live offers real-time polling to make live audience feedback both useful and engaging. Great news from Middleton on their community efforts and increasing levels of connection. Good job. And finally today, we take a look at how parks and libraries can work together for a greater good. According to authors Noah Lenstra and Teresa Penbrook, officials in Lorain County, Ohio, found common ground between the metro parks and the local library. Together with the help of the local health department, they increased their impact on issues related to health and wellness. These 3 organizations have worked together to implement library story times, story walk programs, a bike share program, and also an equipment access program at the local lake. The last program mentioned is called the Little Library on the Lake, and it houses various games and sports equipment. Everything from horseshoe games and bird watching kits to helmets and bike locks can be checked out for free using a library card. Visitors can also use the free Wi-Fi from the Little Library, which covers the entire beach. And during the summer of 2020, the library reported almost 1,000 checkouts. That's a great indicator of community support and satisfaction in these collaborative projects. Thanks for watching the Polco Minute with me. My name is Angelica Waddell, Director of Communications at Polco National Research Center. Polco makes it easy for local governments to get accurate and reliable feedback from their communities. How are you keeping up with today's engagement issues and trends? Join a panel discussion with other local government leaders and us nationwide. Connect with me on LinkedIn or send us a note at polco.us/contact to let us know if you're in. See you next time.